Okay. I'm in the process now of mapping out where the windows are going to go on the two yellow front pieces that are also going to be like doors, because you can see here this is cut. I did the mapping of them on the other side, and the thing this is one of those things that it's irritating. You can tell looking here that this is not as straight as it needs to be. It's about 3 millimeters off. And what even throws me more is when I don't have these pieces even, because you can tell this is wider at the bottom. I got this one a little bit better, this side, but when they aren't even, it starts creating an optical illusion, because the whole house is this is about 3 millimeters wrong at this point. It starts to kind of lean in a little bit, because the house is crooked. The entire house is crooked. I can't get around that. So I'm trying to. It's one of those things where, do you just lean into the crooked, um, or do you continue going forward and try to correct? I'm not having too much of a heart attack about this. I've got them measured, for where they're supposed to go. I even measured at a door. I am so tempted to cut a door out. And there's a part of me that's like, I don't know if this is nice and wide. This is where the staircase is. This is where the staircase meets. And I've got enough space going around. I'm just hesitating a little bit, because part of me would really, really, really like to put a door on here, but I don't know that I want to deal with that much stuff. If that makes sense. Because I think I'm going to make a pattern piece off this, because I like this height. I kept the height the same as the doors to keep this vertical, nice and linear. And I added in another window full size to the upstairs hallway, which I really, really, really wanted to do. I thought about something in the attic. For right now, I'm going to say no. Because remember, this is not my only house that I'm going to be making. And in the next little bit, I'm going to show you how I actually cut these out. And so you can kind of see how I'm doing it. Because everything is completely dry. It was overnight, and so it was a little more than 24 hours that the boards were under weights. Big stacks of books. So in the next hunk of this video, I'm going to show you how I cut these out. Now let's talk about what I'm going to be using to cut these out. This is 4 millimeters, this gray board, 4 millimeters of gray board that I have glued together. I've got my trusty little eraser here. And I have two kinds of knives that I can use. And in the previous day's video, you saw I got this nice new blade and knife from Barron as a present, and I'm loving it. It's really good for my hand. It's large, and I've got a nice grip on it. My hands were not sore this morning, which sometimes can happen, but I'm not going to use this kind of blade. This is a number 11 craft blade, and I'm not going to use this, because the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to put the blade down and I'm going to start cutting it, and I'll feel it go tick, and the tip will come off of it. This kind of work is not for this kind of knife. So I'm going to put her away, and I'm pulling out my Olfa. I like using this kind of cutter craft knife with the metal on the inside is much, much nicer. I can tell this is a little dull here. You can kind of see I've cut other things with it. And because I am such a weenie about things, when I break these knives off, I never use the little end piece, because this one's plastic and I don't want to break it. I use a little pair of pliers to do it. And then I have a place over here I can discard them. I do it that way, because I don't want to hurt myself. Now, it is not common to use, let me put this over here, plastics to do this. I use plastic, these plastic triangles. These are the ones that I've had since I was a graphic design student in the early 90s. They have been with me through everything, and they're not in fabulous shape. I have some gouges along the edges, but what I'm going to use them for is just to get the initial cut in. I sometimes will forget and grab something inexpensive in plastic, and that's how you ruin it. That's how I've ruined the one side of this. Oh, and I also want you to know, the way that I've cut this, you can see that I've extended the lines off here, so I know where to start and where to stop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up right next to, and then keeping the blade as level as I can. And I want you to see how slow I'm going. This is, there we go. You can see how much of the cut's there. And I can flip it over and look. I never cut from the good side because I don't want to hurt the good side. And now what I'm going to do is carefully, because I've gotten a good enough groove there. You notice I flipped it around and I'm doing the opposite direction because I want to get all the way into these corners. And now I can take a look and I can see I've got a cut there. And I'm just going to carefully do this one more time, because the worst thing I want to do is to like have it like all bunch up and be gross on this side. So let's do this again. Put it here. All right, level, and I've got the two pieces here, and I'm holding this down really firmly, placing it, and I'm going slow. If I cut over a little bit, it's not that big of a deal, because I have, yeah, it's usually about 3 cuts, 2 to 3 cuts. Okay. And you notice I'm shifting the board around. That's something I think is really important. Shift things around so you can see them, and you can really see the cut that I have in there now. But you can also see where this doesn't quite meet up together. So I need to go in here and make sure that yeah, and it's lifting. You can see it lift a little bit. Okay, because you're always trying to get it to where you can easily and confidently make the cuts that you need to make without risking harm to yourself. Okay, that was 3. And I am really holding this down here. And I am concentrating on keeping. And I can tell, because when the blade's like this, I'm going to turn this way. You've missed about 4 millimeters next to that line. That's why when I pull it out, I twist it around. I go back to the more comfortable position for me, and I can feel it pop through. Let's double check on the other side. Yep, we're looking good. And now it's time for the last little bit here. Okay, where are you? Right there. Okay, straight down. Got a little bit too much of that blade extended. It'll start to warp when this type of craft blade, this snap blade. There we go. And notice, turning it around again. It seems like a lot of work, but it's so much easier to just do it right the first time. So now you can see the piece I cut out by holding my blade really as straight as possible. That's not super straight. But by doing that, I haven't messed up this board or the paper on the outside. That's because I've got the nice fresh blade. And it's completely dry. That's another reason. If this were wet, the chances of catching and pulling it are greater. And now I can go on with the next one. I keep all of these because I might use them for something. And you guys know me, I never throw anything away. Okay, patrons, I'm going to go ahead and cut out a whole lot of windows. And I was smart, and I have all my trim and all of my shutters. Why do I keep that word? I keep flubbing on it. However, I do need to make one more of these because with the white and the shutters, because I made an extra window. So I will see you in the next video when I show you about how I'm getting, well, no, I already think I already showed you how I got rid of this, didn't I? I got to go back and look. You'll have to tune in next week to find out, did she cut a door? Did she not cut a door? Sorry, it's Friday. I'm being a little goofy right now. But thank you, patrons, and I will see you in the next video.